Hello. Well, this last part of the Highwayman deals with the vocabulary or the language that is used in order to make the poem, the ballad, more interesting and more creative. You see, all poems use what is known as the figures of speech. They are ornaments which embellish a poem and make it sound and look beautiful. Figures of speech are different techniques that we use, the play with the words, which creates a certain effect. Remember that in a poem, a building block is a word. In prose, in an essay, the building block is a sentence. So every word is important in the sense that it conveys either a feeling, an emotion, or an idea. Every word, you just change the position of the words, the meaning changes. For example, Keats talked about something in a very famous poem. He said, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever." But before he used the word always instead of forever. A thing of beauty is a joy always. But it quite did not get this feeling of eternity. The word forever kind of stretches the time. So the word forever sounded better and gave a better meaning than always. So every word counts in a poem. And that is why a lot of attention is given to figures of speech, which are basically comparisons that we use or embellishments, words that we use to decorate a poem to make it more effective. What is a simile? Now, simile, as you all know, is a comparison, and if I ask you to give me an example, immediately you will say white as snow, black as coal, and you will highlight the word as. But really, it is not just the word as which makes a comparison a simile, but what it does to your mind and your imagination. When I say as white as snow, I am putting two objects next to each other. A white color, maybe of paint, and snow, which is also white. One quality is picked out from the two, whiteness, and the comparison is made. So when you think in your mind, what really comes to your mind is neither the snow nor the white, nor the paint, but just the whiteness. But the objects remain separate, right? So that is a simile, not just a use of the word as, but something which happens in your mind. One quality is picked up from two objects, and that quality is highlighted. That's all. But something more happens in a metaphor. In a metaphor, we have two objects blending into a third one. That is what makes a metaphor very beautiful. How does this happen? When I say she is snow white. Now white as snow becomes snow white. The comparison is no longer as direct as in a simile. Only some common qualities are taken in the simile. When I say the sheet is as white as snow, sheet, snow, and white is the common quality. But in a metaphor, the comparison is implied. It is not direct. Though it may not be literally true, it conveys the idea. Now, for example, when I say this sheet is Snow White. Now, something happens to your mind. The sheet itself becomes a sheet of snow. So two objects blend together to form a different third object. You have a sheet which is snow, and the whiteness is highlighted. So a metaphor kind of amalgamates, blends two objects and makes a third object. Please don't take it literally. This happens figuratively. In our mind, a picture is formed and it conveys what the person wants to say. That there is a huge expanse of white snow, like a sheet spreading. That is what is happening in a metaphor. What happens in personification? Inanimate objects are given some life. They are animated. You've all seen animations, cartoon movies. What are they? They are simply drawings, but then they come to life. In the same way, a stone, a wall, a cloud can be animated. A stone can jump at you. A wall can stare at you. A cloud can cry. When we attribute very human qualities to inanimate objects, because the way we look at the world is through the human eye and the human experience. So everything, if we want to describe it, we normally describe it in human terms. And that becomes a personification. So when I say the sky is crying, it is not literally true, but then I can imagine that water, teardrops are coming from the sky like tears from the eye of a person. So that's personification. Imagery, of course, I've told you, is a mental picture. When I say bejeweled sky, meaning the sky is full of jewels. What are the jewels? Twinkling stars. They look like jewels because they shine and sparkle. It concords a mental picture in your mind. So these are briefly the figures of speech that we use to decorate a poem and to make it more meaningful in terms of sound, in terms of pictures, and they convey emotions. So characters can be described through use of figures of speech. Bunch of lace at his throat, at his chin when he meets Bess, which indicates, an image of a well-groomed man. But the same bunch becomes really a bunch of lace at his throat, blood-stained, when he is killed like a dog. So two images, contrasting images, are used, right, to convey two different states, condition of the same man. Ribbon of moonlight. When you say ribbon of moonlight, it's something romantic and delicate. The road looks like a delicate ribbon. So the mood is set through the image of ribbon of moonlight. Figures of speech are also employed to describe Bess, plaiting a dark red love knot. She's just plaiting her hair, but it looks like a love knot. Metaphor is used there. And when you are describing Tim, dumb as a dog, the simile is used. Okay, mute spectator to the whole thing. And the red coats are described to the very color red. The red coat troops came marching. The color of red is kind of a metaphor for blood. They bring bloodshed and violence. So, in this way, even when you need to describe characters and understand them, you can do it through the identifying the different figures of speech. Thank you.